Hi, I'm Mr. Rougery, and in this video I'm going to be guiding you through the Twilight Crypts Delve, one of the new delves for Midnight. Now before we get started, I just want to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Godforge, but more from them later. The Twilight Crypts is located in the southwest of Zulaman, inside a stone building in the Broken Throne area. There are 3 versions of the delve, and depending on which version, the delve has different objectives. However, something that is true for all of them is that there are 8 traps which block your way into different areas of the delve. To disarm the traps, you will have to find and pull levers in the nearby area. It is not necessary to disarm every trap and enter every room on every version of the delve. To start with, I'm going to go through some notable trash mobs. While this doesn't cover every single trash mob inside the delve, it does include the ones that I think were important. The Hexbound Necro Wraith is a caster who casts Necrotic Bolt, which deals significant single target damage. It can be interrupted. They also use Necromantic Upheaval, which spawns stationary circles around all players and Valera. Remaining inside the circle when the cast finishes deals heavy damage and knocks you back, while also leaving a puddle on the ground. The Flesh Warped Abomination is a large elite who does melee damage. The basic attacks don't hit that hard, however it has the ability called Ghoulish Strength, which after a short cast gains 100% increased damage but is slowed by 90%. For tanks, the 100% increased damage is barely noticeable, but you may need to kite if you are playing a DPS or a healer. The Abomination also uses Reconstitution when low on health, which heals it for 90% of its health after a long cast. You can't interrupt this spell, but you can CC him to stop the cast. The final notable mob is the Leering Skulltaker. It's a melee mob with a single ability called Hex Strike. This causes a small amount of shadow damage and applies a debuff which reduces all of your stats by 5%. Be careful when pulling them into groups, as the reduced stats can easily make you weaker than you expect. Moving on to the Delve boss, Blademaster Daza. She has several abilities that you need to keep an eye on. Charge. This is only used if a player is at distance from Blademaster Daza. It deals a small amount of damage and knocks you back a small distance. Shade Cleave is a frontal cone that locks onto a location, meaning you can sidestep and avoid it. Bask in Twilight is a fairly long cast where Blademaster Daza spawns a circle around herself. If you remain inside the circle, you take heavy damage and are knocked back. The circle will also spawn puddles that deal damage over time. Dealing with Blademaster Daza on higher difficulty delves can be difficult, because the puddles she spawned take up more and more of the room. Take her to the edge of the room and move her around the edges every time she casts Bask in Twilight. Sticking close to her makes it slightly easier to avoid Shade Cleave and stops her from charging altogether. But before we jump into the story variants of the Twilight Crypts, here's a quick message from this video's sponsor.
Hey guys, you've probably seen Godforge pop up all over the place. Well, that's our game. The Fateless team have been building a cross-platform RPG. If you love min-maxing builds, if you love epic boss fights, if you love world bosses dropping in from time to time, then you're going to love Godforge. We've already had tens of thousands of players jumping in, trying the game, breaking the game, basically defining how systems are going to work when we go into early access release. It's really a community-first project, and I love it. So if it sounds like your type of game, if you want to come and get involved in the Discord, there will be a link down below where you can get involved with early access. Come on, Method! We'll see you soon.
The first, Loose Lower. In this version of Twilight Crypts, you will be freeing Motomara, the Lower of Pestilence, who has been bound by the Witherbark Trolls. To start the delve, you first need to speak to Scout Locomon. He will tell you to take the Evasive Elixir that's nearby. The Evasive Elixir gives you an extra action button, which, when clicked, will turn you into a pot for 4 seconds. While you are a pot, you are immune to damage and knock back nearby enemies. Once you make it to the central area, you will notice an unattackable Motomara rampaging around the centre. You can see a red outline of him through the walls. If anything, including enemies, is hit by him, it will take a substantial amount of damage and be stunned for 2 seconds. Use the extra action button to avoid being hit by Motomara, while letting him damage your enemies. Don't overpull though, as the enemies are usually not one-shot. The main goal of this delve is to defeat Vile Branch Skeleton Charmers and destroy 6 hex totems located around the map. I've included a route I like to take when clearing this version of Twilight Crypts. You follow the green route until you reach the arrow. If you at this point still need totems, enemies, or want to just fully clear the delve, check the room with the arrow. If you already have all the totems and enemies required for the delve, ignore the room with an arrow and follow the red path to the boss. In the Party Crashers version of the Twilight Crypts, you initially meet Dolgor Legstuck, who has surprisingly got his leg stuck in a trap. These traps appear in several locations around the delve. If you stand in one, you get stunned for a couple of seconds. The next objective is to kill 4 Twilight Summoners, who can easily be located on your map. We have laid out the route you follow in order to defeat all the Twilight Summoners and avoid the spear traps. While following the route, you activate the 7 suspicious levers around the delve. These do exactly the same as the delve mechanic and remove a spear trap. Once you have killed all 4 summoners and clicked all 7 levers, you can take on the boss. This delve is slightly different from the other two. When you first enter, you will try to save a hostage. However, when you click on the key, the screen will go black and you will teleport to the most southern room. From here, you will make your way around the delve in a slightly different direction. You need to open all the side rooms to free the hostages. Once you have freed all of the hostages, you can take on the boss, although you will be in a slightly smaller room near the entrance of the delve. Twilight Crypt has a total of 3 sturdy chests located within. You don't need any special delves to be active in order to access them. You will need to use the levers to get past some of the spear traps. I've included an image and some waypoints in the description to help you find all of the sturdy chest locations. If you have any questions, you can always ask me on twitch.tv/Mr. Rougery, where I go live 4 days a week, or drop a comment. If you found this guide helpful, then please consider dropping a like and possibly even subscribing for more World of Warcraft content. Cheers and happy delving.